Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to tonight's top stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window and welcome to summer. Happy first day of summer. Our solstice took place at about 2:13 this morning, and boy, what a beautiful day today. This is a shot of Lake Wenatchee and, of course, Kaler Glen Golf Course right smack dab in the middle of your screen. A little bit breezy up that way and a few more clouds, but still a nice warm day. And speaking of warm, we are just going to continue to stay warm for Wednesday. We're talking temperatures again in the upper 70s to middle 80s. We'll cool down just a bit on Thursday into the upper 70s and then back into the low and mid 80s Friday. Upper 80s for Saturday and 90 as we get you into Sunday. And we'll talk much more weather coming up a little bit later on. Now, a few of the news stories we're following for you tonight. The family of a homeless man who died beneath the Wenatchee River Bridge June 12th is trying to raise money to pay for his funeral expenses. An evaluation team has recommended 2 proposals for redevelopment of Chelan County PUD's 5th Street headquarters in downtown Wenatchee. 5 new members and 5 alternates to the Chelan Douglas Board of Health received their orientation training last week. And the remains of an American Marine lost during World War II are coming home for interment in East Wenatchee. But first, our top story tonight, an apparent dispute between neighbors yesterday outside Tonasket led to gunfire that left a man and his mother dead and another man hospitalized. The Okanagan County Sheriff's Office said both 26-year-old Raymond Smith and his mother, 56-year-old Kimberly Smith, died of gunshot wounds in their home in the Cape LaBelle Road area. Sheriff Tony Hawley said their neighbor, 61-year-old Scott Pollock, was transported to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle with a gunshot wound to his left arm. Hawley said while responding to a report of a shooting at about 1:05 p.m., deputies made contact with Pollock at North Valley Hospital, and he told them he'd been shot by Raymond Smith during an argument where they had exchanged gunfire. Pollock repeatedly told the deputy he had shot at Raymond Smith and believed he had hit him in the chest. When deputies went to the home, they reported finding both Smith and his mother dead of apparent gunshot wounds. Pollock said he'd gone to the home with his wife to discuss an ongoing construction project. Hawley said detectives, assisted by the Okanagan County Coroner and Washington State Patrol, are trying to determine just what occurred. Well, the family of a homeless man who died beneath the Wenatchee River Bridge on June 12th is trying to raise money to pay for his funeral expenses. A GoFundMe account has been set up by the sister of 50-year-old Jose Sanchez Espinoza, who authorities say died when the hole he was digging into the hillside below the North Wenatchee Bridge collapsed on him. The fundraising effort is being led by Espinoza's sister Carmen Sanchez of Wenatchee. As of this morning, the account had raised just under $3,000 of the $5,000 goal. Well, an evaluation team has recommended 2 proposals for redevelopment of Chelan County PUD's 5th Street headquarters in downtown Wenatchee. The PUD is building a new headquarters in Old Station and soon will vacate its downtown facilities. Both GTS Development of Kirkland and Steinhauer Properties of Seattle are proposing a new YMCA building, apartments, and dining spaces. Calling its project The Station, GTS says full build-out would take 8 to 10 years and include 4 new buildings as well as reuse of the headquarters building. In addition to the new YMCA facility, it would include a 100-plus unit apartment building, mixed-use office space, and a 3,000 square foot cafe. GTS would also add underground parking. The company is proposing to pay $4 million for that property. Meanwhile, calling its project Electric Avenue, Steinhauer Property proposes beginning construction in 2024 of all new buildings on the property. In addition to the YMCA facility, it would include a 172-unit apartment complex, a 211-room upscale hotel, indoor and outdoor dining, and retail space. The GTC plan would add above-ground parking. Steinhauer is proposing to pay $6 million for the property. Well, 5 new members and 5 alternates to the Chelan-Douglas Board of Health received their orientation training last week. The board expanded this year to 11 members thanks to changes in state law, with about half the members drawn from the general public and half of them city and county elected officials. The board oversees the Chelan-Douglas Health District, which deals with public health services in both counties. The orientation held last Wednesday schooled the board members in health rules, public meeting laws, and other aspects of service. They'll attend their first official meeting of the board next Monday. Well, the remains of an American Marine lost during World War II are coming home for interment in East Wenatchee. The Department of Defense office that coordinates the search for service members killed in action says the remains of Gunnery Sergeant Arthur B. Summers were officially identified in 2019. Summers was killed in November of 1943 during combat with Japanese forces in the Tarawa Atoll. That's approximately 1,000 U.S. Marines and sailors died in intense fighting for Tarawa. Almost half the known casualties were never found. Summers' remains were found during an excavation in 2009 in Batillo Island by a nonprofit recovery agency. They were identified by dental records and other evidence. The Defense POW MIA accounting agency says Summers will be buried in East Wenatchee at an unspecified date. Well, when we come back, the Chelan Valley Housing Trust has purchased 2 lots on Iowa Street in Chelan for its newest affordable housing units. Even though it's now officially summer, the Forest Service is warning people that roads in the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest are still feeling the effects of winter. Chelan County's moderate risk waste facility in North Wenatchee is now accepting latex paints. And Confluence Health received national recognition this week for its rapid care for cardiac patients. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
Spring is more than just a time to clean. It's your time to renew, recharge, and spend time with the people you love. At Merry Maids, our cleaning services go beyond the basic services and provide you with a comprehensive clean that will re-energize your home and enhance your life. From everyday routine cleaning or deep cleanings, Merry Maids professional team members can provide you with an unrivaled experience. Call Merry Maids to schedule your cleaning today.
The best pizza in the known universe is right here in downtown Chelan, so come on up. For the best locally crafted beer and barbecue in Chelan, come on up.
For the best down-home scratch country cooking in North Central Washington, you'll find it in Manson. Come on up.
Come on up. Come on up.
Come on up.
Welcome back. In another news, the Chelan Valley Housing Trust has purchased 2 lots on Iowa Street in Chelan for its newest affordable housing units. The trust said the South Chelan lots will be the sites of 2 homes for working Chelan Valley families. A capital campaign is being set up to help pay for the cost of property purchases, development, and construction. The trust is continuing its fundraising efforts for Chelan River Heights development, where 40 new affordable homes are scheduled to be built in 2024. Well, even though it's now officially summer, the Forest Service is warning people that roads in the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forests are still feeling the effects of winter. The Forest Service says a wetter than normal winter has left many roads, including in the Wenatchee River Ranger District, with potholes, mud puddles, and deep ruts. Maintenance crews have a long list of repairs to make, so it could take a while to get all the roads repaired. Motorists are warned to turn around if they encounter snowy patches because getting stuck could be especially troublesome in areas where there's no cell phone service. Well, Chelan County's moderate risk waste facility in North Wenatchee is now accepting latex paints. The county said safe disposal of household paint is something residents have been requesting since the facility was opened in 2019. The service is offered free to Chelan County residents. The county said they've signed an agreement with Paint Care Washington, which will be picking up the paint from the Wenatchee facility for recycling. There is a limit of 55 gallons of latex paint per visit, and paint must be in a container no larger than 5 gallons. The service is limited to households only. And as we go to break, Confluence Health received national recognition this week for its rapid care for cardiac patients. The American Heart Association awarded the hospital system its Mission Lifeline Gold Achievement Award for offering rapid care to patients suffering a specific kind of heart attack. The cardiac event is caused by a partial blockage of blood flow to the heart. The award is given to hospitals that treat patients according to the most up-to-date research-based guidelines. Doctors say the approach gives cardiac patients the best chance for survival. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa has hot tubs in stock now. Spas are scientifically proven to improve sleep and ease arthritis pain. Let us help you find the perfect spa today. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa is helping families reconnect, one hot tub at a time.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
You are driven to succeed. This drive is part of who you are, part of your cultura, your valores. With achievement comes a sense of orgullo. It builds your community. You stand on the shoulders of those who have walked before you, the ones who pushed you to succeed. You have the choice to overcome the challenges that arise in your life. You decide your future. Sí se puede.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In tonight's feature story, Chelan County officials are discussing how to handle future threats to their office complex, like the bomb threat that emptied out the courthouse and nearby county facilities last week. Nicholas Fulcher is accused of phoning in a false bomb threat on Wednesday to avoid a court hearing on a previous arrest. County commissioners said today they'll do a post-mortem on the incident to learn how to better handle public emergencies.
In the interim, I think we need to have discussions amongst ourselves and with our department heads and with campus security about what specific measures we want to do, and then bring it to the safety committee, and then ultimately come back to us.
Anytime we have a major incident like this that occurs, there's always, fresh in everybody's mind what went well and what didn't go well. And you want to do an after action on something like this. And so my suggestion is that we actually, perhaps next week, ask for a special meeting of the department head and electeds, and actually use that time that we have to go through what went well, what did not necessarily go well, and improve upon those things. I would like to call for that meeting for next Tuesday morning, like we would, and do a special meeting as a after action review of this, because, you know, when I'm getting phone calls, I'm in Spokane, who do I call to find out what's going on and what's already in place? Perhaps the health or the safety committee can look at this piece and collect the emergency plans from each one of the offices, because realistically, the electeds should have their emergency plan for their office or where they're functioning.
And each one is different.
Every one is unique, and those unique plans need to be basically printed up, so any new employees, that's part of their orientation for that particular office, you know, because that was something that I know Cammie had brought up. But the other piece is maybe once quarterly, there are select offices, instead of doing a campus-wide emergency drill, that the safety team at one of their meetings for that 30 minutes break out into 4 different groups, and they go to 4 different offices or departments and basically say, okay, this is a drill.
All right, let's take a look now at your North Central Washington weather forecast. And as I mentioned at the top of the newscast, happy summer, everyone. Our summer solstice occurred about 2:13 a.m. this morning, and it made for a beautiful day today. I believe this is our Badger Mountain camera looking back at the Wenatchee Valley. Still a little bit of snow, I should say, on top of the Cascades, but what a beautiful day today. Nice and warm out there. Unofficially, our high temperature at Pangbourne Airport today, look at that, 83 degrees. And that's actually above normal. We were 80 yesterday, our second day in a row now of 80-degree days. 79 is normal. Our record high, 100 degrees, set back in 1992. As far as lows go, right in the ballpark to normal. Our record low, 46 degrees, and that was set in 1981. Sunrise this morning at 5:04. That will be the earliest our sun will rise now. It is the first day of summer today. And yes, 9:01. The latest sunset we will see, and boy, lots of daylight right now. That's going to continue for about a week or so. Let's take a look now at your Wednesday temperatures. I don't think there's going to be any complaints tomorrow either. It should be a beautiful day. High temperatures again, well into the mid-80s for Moses Lake, Ephrata, and Quincy. A little bit cooler back to the west and north. We'll see temperatures mainly in the lower 80s. 82 for Wenatchee, 80 in Leavenworth, and a beautiful 82 degrees if you're heading over to Lake Chelan. Taking a look at tonight now, we expect partly cloudy skies. Here's our big, beautiful area of high pressure bringing us the mild weather. We'll see low temperatures tonight near 60 degrees. It's going to be a mild one. Getting into Wednesday, a little bit breezy, possibly in the afternoon tomorrow. Those pressure gradients very tightly packed over us for Wednesday. It's going to be a warm one, though, as we just talked about, with temperatures mainly between 80 and 85. For Thursday, a little bit breezy, too. I don't think as breezy as Wednesday. It will be slightly cooler as our airflow begins to come down from the northwest. It's only going to last for a day, though, with high temperatures in the mid-70s for Thursday. Right back into the lower 80s on Friday as a nice ridge of high pressure builds over all of the western United States. And I'll tell you what, it's all over the entire country. Warmth, especially as we get into Saturday. It's going to warm up on Saturday with high temperatures then into the mid-80s. Notice how dark our oranges are becoming. That means we're getting closer to 90. For Sunday, I think we'll see it. Sunny skies, unseasonably warm, hardly a cloud in the sky. High temperatures right around that 90-degree mark here in north central Washington, and even warmer than that as we kick off our next work week. Here's the peak of our ridge all the way up into British Columbia, and we are going to see widespread 80s and lower 90s all over Washington state. Let's take a look now at your 7-day forecast. Very mild one, as I mentioned tonight, 59 degrees, 82 your high tomorrow, 76 on Thursday, a little breezy both days. I'm not going to call it windy, but you'll notice it the next couple of days. 81 on Friday, and look at that warm up as we get you into Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. 86 your high Saturday, 90 on Sunday, and I believe Monday, that should say 92 degrees. So get ready for the warm weather. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Traditional values and innovation in honoring the life of each family we serve is part of the ministry of Heritage Memorial Chapel. Our staff is committed to walk with your family with compassion through this time of grief. We are here to help and here to serve, the right kind of help when you need it most. Heritage Memorial Chapel.
NCWLIFE really does a great job of exposing our brand. It's a little scary at first, right? You're just throwing money out there hoping it comes back. And to see those results come back through and see people walk through the door and say, hey, saw your TV advertisement. Those are the kinds of things that you see the return on. And when you look at the cost spent, you know you're making a return on it. There's a huge market here and market potential, and they are a great avenue for that.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Tuesday to you. The Seahawks have several challenges as they prepare for the 2022 season. Gone are future Hall of Famers Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner. Gone is defensive coordinator Ken Norton Jr. Also gone last year was a winning season and the playoffs. A big hire for Seattle this offseason was the addition of Sean Desai. He's the Seahawks' new associate head coach and defensive assistant to new defensive coordinator Clint Hurt. Desai was highly sought after, a coach across the NFL. Says once he determined the juice was real with Coach Pete Carroll, he wanted to come to Seattle.
Obviously, one of the big things is the culture and the energy that Coach has always talked about. And from an outside perspective, being around a lot of different coaches, you always wonder, hey, is that thing real? Is the juice real? Is what he's talking about real? And then you sit in here on day one of meetings and you realize how real it is. And you realize how and why he's had the success that he's had in his career. You know, one thing that we got to understand, this is still the Pete Carroll, Clint Hurt defense that we're going to be seeing in 2022. You know, they're going to have their stamps on it, as they should. They've both earned that right, and especially Clint has earned that right. And so this is going to be a lot of that. And, you know, there's some flavors that we'll be able to bring in from my past experiences, and obviously Clint's been with Vic also, that we'll be able to bring in some different philosophies and some different ways of doing things schematically, but you should be able to identify, you know, a Clint Hurt-led defense this year.
Desai has a PhD in higher education and administration. He says he uses his educational background to teach football in the NFL.
To me, it's about bringing information down that's relatable to the player. You know, we got to try to make some complex things simple, but they got to understand the depth of it. And you got to open their eyes and their ears and give them different looks and try to relate to them so they understand the information you're trying to get to them, and then give them the why. You know, I don't think you can get message across without giving them the why.
Desai worked for 9 seasons with the Chicago Bears as a defensive backs coach and defensive coordinator. He says he's looking forward to working with Pro Bowlers Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs.
You know, studying them, the one thing you can really tell is they're football players. You know, that's one thing I think sometimes we undervalue. You know, our guys good football players. And those two are good football players. And they've got a lot of demonstrated success in a lot of different roles throughout their careers. So I'm talking from college into the NFL. And then being with them these last couple of weeks, you see why they're good football players. Their passion for the game, their passion and eagerness to learn. And that was one of the first things I asked through the process of coming here. You know, I asked Clint and Coach about the type of guys that we had on the team. You know, are these guys going to want to learn? Are they going to be checked out? Because that's important to me. You know, I pride myself on teaching, and I want guys that want to learn, because we're going to teach them at a high level and then expect them to execute at that same level.
Dr. Desai and the rest of the Seahawks defensive coaches will have their hands full in turning around a unit that ranked near the bottom of several categories in the NFL over the past 3 seasons. Seattle is just over a month away from training camp and just 53 days away from their first preseason game at Pittsburgh. Well, the Mariners are trying to break out of a dismal streak of baseball tonight when they play in Oakland against the A's. Seattle's coming off a 3-8 homestand where they've seen their record dip to 10 games under 500. Turmoil has developed within a team that had high hopes of making the playoffs for the first time in 21 years. It's palpable. In fact, they haven't even announced a starting pitcher for tonight's game against the A's. Oh, hang on. They did announce, finally, Marco Gonzalez is going to start tonight. Now, it's 2 in a row that Marco Gonzalez was kind of a TBD, and then they put him in. So we're wondering maybe if Marco Gonzalez is shortly going on the shelf if things don't go well tonight. Oakland is throwing James Caprillion, who is winless so far this season. First pitch at Oakland Coliseum, 6:40. You can watch the action on Root Sports Northwest. Well, there was only one game Monday involving an American League West team. The Angels fell to visit in Kansas City. Salvador Perez and Hunter Dozier homered in the top of the 8th inning to break open a close game, give the Royals a 6-2 win. Mariners entered today's game 13 games behind first place Houston in the AL West and 8 games out of the wild card race. Tonight's game is the first of 3 in Oakland, and Seattle will have 3 in Anaheim against the Angels coming up this weekend. Well, the Wenatchee Apple Sox are north of the border for the first time since 2019. They're in Victoria to face the Harbor Cats in the first of 3 games at Wilson's Group Stadium. Last time Wenatchee saw action in BC was against Victoria in the West Coast League playoffs 3 years ago. The league was shut down for COVID in 2020, and BC teams didn't travel out of Canada in 2021. Tonight's game gets underway at 6:35 with Riley Sinclair getting his first start for Wenatchee against Cooper Crumpton. You can hear the action locally on radio on Sunny FM. In limited West Coast League play last night, checking the Les Schwab scoreboard, Ben Ziegler was 3 for 4 with 2 runs and 3 RBI to lead Cowlitz to an 11-1 win over Edmonton. Nanaimo's Logan Gibson stole home in the bottom of the 10th to give the Night Owls a 2-1 win over Kamloops. Nanaimo won the game with just 4 hits offensively. Sam Olson's RBI triple in the bottom of the 11th gave Yakima Valley a 9-8 walk-off win against Cascade Collegiate Showcase team. In the rest of the West Coast League schedule tonight, Cowlitz is hosting Edmonton, Ben's at Yakima Valley, Bellingham takes on Port Angeles, Walla Walla visits Corvallis, Kamloops is in Nanaimo, Springfield has a non-leaguer against the CCL Showcase team, and Portland entertains Ridgefield in the late game start at 7:05. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. On tomorrow's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, my guest will be the former interim CEO, now the CEO of Columbia Valley Community Health, Manuel Navarro. Congratulations on the job.
Thank you very much, Dan.
Manuel and I had a fascinating conversation. Also, we met a couple of members of the board of CVCH. It's a great interview. You're going to learn a lot about this fantastic organization and this man who now has a very important job and will do it well. That'll be on tomorrow's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Grant, back to you.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
With TV advertising, what we want to do is more deeply connect with the community
People spot me in different parts around North Central, Costco and Wenatchee, say, hey, you're the pizza guy. And so they wouldn't know that if it weren't for the TV commercials we've done.
We've been here so long that people already know who we are and what we do, but to have that image flash on their television screen as opposed to just hearing in the radio or seeing in the newspaper, I just love the fact that we can actually put our finger on when a customer comes in and says, I saw your ad.
It's becoming increasingly difficult in this digital age to know where are your customers listening or watching, because I watch all the different channels that they watch too, like Cooking Channel, History Channel, and so it was wonderful to be able to be on there.
I would say that if you want to do business in Wenatchee, then you should connect with the people of Wenatchee, and there's no better way to do it.